Have you ever wanted to listen to a room? It can be really useful when you're leading a workshop or just hanging out with people. This is Reid from readaboutsex.com.
And I'm actually not touching my nipple. I'm like an inch away from it. This is Cathy from theintimacydojo.com. How do you listen to a room? How do you use your presence and your focus even when there are distracting things going on? What's your advice?
The first thing is if I can quiet the noise up here, and as you always say, it's a dangerous neighborhood up here. It can get really noisy, especially if you're leading a workshop. I get nervous every time I lead a workshop. And I tell them, if I get up there and just tell them, hey, I get nervous every time I lead a workshop, and it just shifts it for me. It works really well. But the quieter I can get up here, the more I can notice what's going on in the room. Are people shy or awkward? Are they high energy, low energy? Just tuning into the room and being able to figure out if I need to get them to stand up or adjust, raise their energy to be there can make a really big difference in how the rest of the workshop goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's basically when I say like listening in the room, how's the listening in the room? Basically what I'm talking about as a facilitator is your ability to hear how they're hearing you. So if the room's really tuned in and you guys are on the same page and you guys are really vibing, then I can talk really quickly and talk about all kinds of dense, complex issues, and they're absorbing the information at the speed that I can talk. If it's a really complex piece of information that I'm talking about, or there's a lot of thinking going on in the room, I may want to slow down how I'm talking and what I'm delivering so that they can actually get or grok what I'm saying. The idea is basically, and this kind of approach is taught in a lot of different schools of thought, but basically the idea of you're speaking, like I'm speaking to you guys, we're speaking to you guys watching right now, but you guys are processing what we're talking about. So it's going through this filter of most people being like, what about that? He was talking about slowing down as a means of like being a better educator. And so you're losing a little bit of them being able to hear you because they're thinking about what you just said. As a facilitator, your ability to basically turn the volume down on those filters for yourself so that what's going on in the room doesn't have to come through you. What's going on in the room? I feel really nervous. This is weird. I hope they're okay. You're losing your ability to connect with them, and some people in your workshops feel that disconnection, and then they start being more disconnected because you're disconnected.
Yeah.
So whatever you can do to get more present and quiet the voices down in your head allows you to be with the room more, hear what's going on for them, which actually has them be able to pay attention more.
I really like, too, you often ask early in the workshop and throughout the workshop for people to give feedback. Like, is this making sense? Is this working for you? One, that gives you a chance to pause, and when you're teaching, especially for people that are not as experienced, it's hard to juggle the teaching and the listening. Like, it's two things at the same time. So if you're giving other people a chance to give you verbal feedback, that gives you a chance to energetically tune to them as well.
For those of you who believe in energy.
Yes. And it gives you a chance to hear intellectually what's going on, too. So if a couple people raise their hand and say, that was great, but what was that third point you made? I didn't get it. You can go back and catch them up so they can be more present for the rest of it. They've got the foundations going forward.
So the ideas of, one, what Cathy said around like expressing to people in the beginning what's going on for you as a means of quieting the voices down in your head. It also role models for them that you're not this perfect guru who has all your shit handled, which is fake. And has them, you're role modeling from that everyone's perfect, which is weird. And then the idea that I'm listening to the room and realizing, even if it feels like everything's fine, let me check in, ask for any questions, if anybody has any feedback that they need to give me, so that they can kind of empty their heads of whatever's rattling around in there, this question about the third point, and then they can actually pay attention for the next section.
And when you're really present, it invites other people to be more present. If I'm trying to teach and I'm thinking about, oh, did I turn off the toaster? And I've got to go grocery shopping after that, and I forgot to pay the electric bill again, I'm not really present with the room. So if I can take a deep breath and be quiet up here about other things and be just present with the people. Bo Easton talks about, one of the people we follow, talks about being present with one person in the room at a time until you build a connection. So it might be a 30 seconds or a minute, just being present with them rather than, my tendency is to go more quickly and look at each person for a couple seconds so they feel seen. But what he recommends, and which seems to work really well, is to stay with one person a little bit longer, be really present, and build that up over the room over time, which lets you have a deeper connection with people there.
Cool. Awesome. We hope this is helpful. Let us know your comments. Hit a like button once in a while, folks. It's not going to kill you. Hit a thumbs up, yo. What else? What questions do you have so that you can be more present with the next video?
Thanks very much.